Welcome to I Am the Cute One, the most chaotic school dance in the podcast universe.
Listen, you got through the week like we got through 9/11.
And a recession.
And the Special K diet.
And the time that James Franco hosted the Oscars.
And Ben Platt's wig and Dear Evan Hansen.
TGIF.
Hello, I am Donnie and I am the cute one. And today I am doing a solo episode. So I'm recording this on June 23rd. Chelsea's solo episode came out last Friday, and she had originally recorded it because my side effects were really bad. So for those of you who don't know, the medicine that I am on for the MS, the first 3 weeks I took a weekly dose. It kills my immune system, or like blasts my immune system, so that my body is able to kill the MS. But with the immune system, I don't really know. With my immune system, I couldn't kill the MS, so they needed to get rid of my immune system, blah, blah, blah. So it's 3 weekly doses and then a week off, and then it starts a monthly dose after that. But in the beginning, your body is getting used to the weekly doses. So on my 3rd weekly dose, it really took your girl out for a few days. So Chelsea said, I'll do a solo episode. That's what she did. And now I'm doing one to make up for it, but we're going to save it for a rainy day, save it for a day where like she's on vacation or I'm sick again or whatever, that we have this episode. So that is what I am recording this episode for. But I recorded it yesterday, a 45-minute episode, brilliantly unhinged. I loved it. I posted a clip on my Instagram stories. People loved that. It was really a good time. But a little behind the scenes tea, most of you know this already, Chelsea does the editing for our podcast. So I was like, you know what? This is a solo episode. There's no reason she needs to do extra work for something that like she's not even a part of. You know what I mean? Like, let me handle the heavy load. I edit 3 podcasts for a living. I make my rent editing people's podcasts. I can edit our podcast, you know? So I recorded the episode 45 minutes and then I went to make these changes. And it's not my first day on earth. I'm not a boomer. I'm not being scammed by AI Sandra Bullock people on Facebook. Like, I know technology. May I say again, I make my rent editing other people's podcasts. Instead of making a change, I deleted the full episode. So this is the episode that was supposed to be the episode I recorded yesterday. I'm going to try to recreate magic. Remember the big bits. Big bits. That's like big balls, but bits. Also, someone across the street is just unpacking a full truck full of Benjamin Moore paint. What they're doing with it, I'm not sure. There's no paint store around here. So that's going to be very distracting, but we'll get through it together. Big bits. So when the episode didn't air right, or when I deleted it is what exactly happened, then I went in my stories and I was like, hi, this is what happened. Please submit new questions. And people did. So I'm going to go through those first so that maybe by the end of the episode, it tricked my brain and I'll forget the original questions, or I'll get through these questions and then I will save the older questions for another solo AMA in the future that then I'll like fully forget what I talked about. Because, you know, I forget. Once I talk about something on a podcast, I forget usually by the time we log off. So then the episode will come out the Friday following. And I'll be like, did I say that? We have to delete it, Chelsea. But at this point, the internet's already heard it. The worst movie you've ever seen. Oh my God. Let's go back to that. I didn't prepare for these. I'm just reading these spur of the moment. But here's the thing. I know when movies are good and I just don't like them. And I know when movies are bad and I love them. But then there's like a weird in between where like, I don't know if people like things. Like Lars and the Real Girl. Do people like that? I'm going to look it up right now. I was bored to bits. Lars. I typed lard. Lars and the problem is Chelsea likes this fucking movie. So she said, when we start covering movies again, we'll get to this eventually. And I said, I'd rather be dead. See, Rotten Tomatoes gave it 81%. And that doesn't feel like a movie that's good. And I just don't like it. Also, any of the like, who's that guy Chelsea likes? That just looks like, his movies look like a postcard, like people holding balloons or a banana behind a pink wall. You know, like Life Aquatic and stuff. Those movies are awful. Also, I saw North Country with Charlize Theron. I hated that. But none of those are like bad. I just recently saw something so bad and I was like, this is terrible. But I forget what it was. So I really should have prepped. Maybe by the end of the episode, I'll remember it. Maybe I'll log on Letterboxd. Let me do that first. And this is why I edited the episode myself, because I was like, Chelsea doesn't need to go through my silences like this as I research things. Scary Movie, I gave a 2.5. Michael, I gave a 2.5. Reminders of Him, I gave a 2, but I liked it. Anaconda, I gave a 2. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, 2.5. Him, I gave a 2. Oh, Hurry Up Tomorrow. I knew we'd get there. The movie by The Weeknd, and Jenna Ortega's in it, and that funny face guy from Saltburn, Barry Keoghan or whatever. And it's about a musician. I think The Weeknd is playing himself, perhaps. And it was written and directed by The Weeknd as well. So at this point, like, sometimes when you're too involved with things, just write a journal, because then you're not able to see it constructively. Like, you're not able to look at this as a piece of art anymore. You're not able to look at this as like something that needs to make money at the box office anymore. You're just looking at it like, oh, I need to get these thoughts out onto the table. No, you don't. You don't. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was like, I thought we were going places, just albeit slowly. Like, Jenna Ortega was an obsessed fan, and he was like a musician that wasn't giving the same kind of music as he once did. So then Jenna Ortega ends up tying him to the bed and then like playing him his old music. Full songs. Like, we had to listen to 3 Weeknd songs in a row, 15 minutes worth of just him on a bed listening to his old albums. Awful. I gave it half a star, only because on Letterboxd you can't give a 0 star. A movie you love that you're embarrassed about. Perhaps you are familiar. I saw High School Musical 3 14 times in theaters. I don't really get embarrassed by liking movies. I think part of my brand is, and maybe this is a peek too much behind the curtain, and maybe this is why I'm not like famous, because people feel like they can't bring me down. But there's something about me that, like, I don't care how you feel about me in terms of like, if you think I don't have like meat to me, because where I do, and I don't care if people don't see that. So like, yes, I did see High School Musical 3 14 times in theaters. Yes, I did see Mean Girls, the musical 10 times when it was on Broadway. Like, there's just a vapid, like, baseline childlike whimsy to me where I will see like they're not bad things though, so I don't even want to say that, but like, when I told people, I think people like to want to embarrass me about those things, or like want me to be embarrassed, but like, they'll be like, Donnie, tell them how many times you saw High School Musical 3 in theaters. Like 14. So then it like takes the punch away from people. And because of that, I think if I had these secrets, if I was only saying I saw High School Musical 3 14 times in theaters on Patreon, I think then maybe I could build like a following on Instagram or wherever, where like I could be famous because there were people that would feel like they knew my secret and could bring me down at any moment. But because I do give my opinions of like things I don't like, ugly people smoking, short haircuts on women, whatever. But then also my opinions on like those kind of things. I saw High School Musical 14 times in theaters. I think there's nothing to hide. There's nothing I'm keeping a secret. So then people are like, oh, this is just him, you know? Anyway, that was all because you asked what movie I'm embarrassed about. You didn't ask anything about that. See, and that's the problem with The Weeknd. He should have put that kind of stuff just in a diary or behind a Patreon wall. But then when he took whatever that was I just said and tried to make a movie out of it, nobody asked. We just wanted to see whatever. Superpower you'd choose to give yourself. Oh, I would become a villain almost immediately, because the superpower I would want more than anything is mind control. And like, at first it's little things like, if you see someone litter, pick that up, or if you have a coworker that just won't leave you alone and you just want to do your job and like they're annoying you, you're like, go back to work, that kind of stuff. But then that quickly is like, let me skip the line. And then that very quickly is like, let me in this concert I didn't pay for. And then that very quickly is like, let me backstage. And then that very quickly is like, Taylor Swift, give me a private concert at home. And then that very quickly is like, Taylor Swift, give me Blake Lively's phone number and make her act out things in my basement while I play Leighton Meester and she plays her parts, you know? And then it's just a slippery slide. So I am aware that you die a hero or live long enough to see yourself as a villain. I think I am a villain already. I just don't have superpowers. Dream, marry, Kate, and Ash. That's not what it says. Dream, marry, casting for Oh Mary. You can do multiple. Great. I just told the production manager this yesterday, actually, because Jennifer Coolidge came to see the show, which I'll probably talk about on TGIF, so I won't talk about it here, especially because, like, at this point, this might be airing 3 months later, and then Jennifer Coolidge came 3 months ago, and you're like, I already saw her. You're lying. Anyway. Jennifer Coolidge came to see the show, and I asked the production manager, like, when's she going to be in it? And he laughed because she's not. And then I said, like, that's okay. We're booked for the next few months anyway. I was like, we have Meg Stalter first, but then when she leaves, we have Keke Palmer, and then Raven Simone, and then Lisa Kudrow, which those are definitely my top 3. I would love a Molly Shannon Mary as well, but Keke, much like this podcast always has been, Keke is my number 1. And like, not in a way where sometimes I shoehorn old Keeks in. And yes, I do think she'd be great in anything she did. But like, I feel like Mary is made for Keke Palmer. I also feel, and this brings the weekend into it a little bit, like, I also feel Raven Simone is made for Mary, but 10 years ago, I think she could have sold tickets. The Raven we have now, I don't think that people would let their brains go far back enough to remember how great of an actress Raven Simone really is and sell out the theater. Like, when you think about Raven now, I think we think about her bringing her wife to everything, and like the fact that the wife is the co-host and all of these things, like bald-headed Raven, where I think Disney Channel Raven would have wiped the floor with Mary. Do you ever get in a laughing fit while you're editing for other people's podcasts? Yes, the people I edit for are a delight. They're so fun to edit for. I also find myself, like, Chelsea and I talk to each other 3 times a week, right? In recordings. So we do pick up each other's verbal tics and stims, but I find myself doing it with Troy and Kelly because I edit episodes for them 4 times a week. So I do find myself talking like Troy sometimes. And I told him so that, like, the streets aren't saying I'm just copying him. I'm not copying him. He's talking in my ear 4 times a week, sometimes up to 2 hours. So I'm listening to him 6 hours a week. I'm going to use your voice, babe. I'm going to single wife email you. If you could experience a Broadway moment in real time, what would it be? Do you mean like break out in song? Okay, so I always, if that's what you mean, like if life was a musical, what would you be most excited about? I always love when people walk with a book bag like this and then face. Like, I'm going to do it for you. One more time. So number 1, if you're not watching this and you're just listening, you really missed out because I'm born to be a star. But yeah, I used to do that even when I worked at Bubba Gump and like the floor was empty. And I was a manager, remind you of that. I would do that because we sold little bags. So I would put that on and pretend. So that's what I would be most excited about. I guess like breaking out into song when you don't know the words to speak, which I don't know the words to speak often. So I feel like I would just always be singing, which would be cool, especially if the world around me was fine with it and I wouldn't just look like a crazy person on the train. But what I really would most be excited for is a sharp turn with a book bag over one shoulder. Do you miss doing movie episodes or are you enjoying the break? A little bit of both. I do really miss movie episodes, and I feel like the movie episodes are what gets good stories out of us because, like, talking about Katy Perry on a date with Justin Trudeau, that's not going to get us backtracking mentally the way that, like, covering a movie we saw when we were 12 would. Because then you think, like, oh, I saw this movie for the first time in my English class. And then after that English class, that's when Tina peed herself at lunch. And then after that, this happened. So then you're able to tell those stories. But if I'm just talking about something that happened last week, your mind doesn't allow you to go to those places. So I do miss getting that kind of like unhinged content from those episodes. However, with that said, it feels like it's only a 2-hour movie and then it's only a 1-hour recording, but that's already 3 hours. And then like, if I am the moderator that week, you have to pause the movie to then look some things up or pause the movie to take notes. Like you watch a scene and then make the outline for it, whatever. So I am finding that I have so much more time to watch like what's currently on TV or to watch like what I want to watch. And again, my job is watching movies that I mostly love, except when Chelsea watches the ones about pink walls holding a banana in front of it. But most of these movies we watch are things that I enjoy. However, it still is work when you have to watch like a 2003 movie starring Vanessa Hudgens that you weren't planning on watching this week. So then that means like, oh, that's time I would have been watching Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Like I am finding myself watching a lot more TV that I want to watch and not that I have to watch. So I'm enjoying the break, but also miss it. Do you miss living with the cat? No. No. If you could ask Zac Efron one question and he couldn't lie, what would you ask? Okay, number one, I would want to say, can I suck you? But only one question? Because here's the three I want to ask. One, is Ashley Tisdale a bitch? Two, did your relationship with Vanessa Hudgens start as a publicity stunt and then turned into something more? Or was it always just like two teenagers that were together on set and ended up fucking? Or question three, I think I would say like, when did you know Nikki Blonsky was crazy? And now this is a woman that reshared my story and has been on multiple podcasts of mine. However, we're just gonna call it what it is. The bitch is nuts. And I would want to know, like, at what point in filming the movie did you know this woman was batshit crazy? Oh, would you rather be a final girl in a horror movie or lead in a musical? Okay. Well, the truth is, I'd rather be the twist killer that you think is good the whole time and then is evil, and I get a monologue at the end. But if I couldn't be that, final girl would be fine. I would join the likes of Julie James, Sidney Prescott, etc. But I would really love a, spoiler alert, skip ahead 10 seconds if you've never seen it, like a Scream 4 Emma Roberts reveal, like where you think the whole time I'm maybe the new final girl in the series, maybe the final girl itself, maybe this is the first one. And then at the end, you're like, oh no, this bitch is crazy, just like Nikki Blonsky. So that's what I really would like. What would you name a musical? Oh, so many musical questions. We're Broadway babies here. What would you name a musical about your life? I think just nothing, just twinkles on the marquee. And I think I would call it Unhinged. And it would be about me dating on the apps. And then I become less and less of a person. We're workshopping it, okay? I don't know what it's about. Needless to say, I wanted to answer this question, but I don't have the answer. A singer you don't think deserves to be as famous as they are. Oh, this is rude. We're not going to do that. And not because I don't want to be rude, but because I can't think of anyone. But I do think that Mandy Moore should be more famous than she is. No. I think JoJo should be more famous than she is. There is no reason that Leah Michelle was selling out Chess, and then when JoJo was announced, we weren't selling out equally as much. JoJo should be much more famous than she is. Mandy Moore should have a much bigger music career than she does. Carly Rae Jepsen should have a much bigger music career than she does. And like when people think of Carly Rae Jepsen, they only think of Call Me Maybe. And there's like, she truly, this is not me being hyperbolic, she truly is one of the best pop performers that we have. Like in terms of musicality, I was going to say no one does it like Carly Rae Jepsen, but like few do it like Carly Rae Jepsen. Her music is top tier. And if you are sleeping on Carly Rae Jepsen, if you think she only has Call Me Maybe, please contact me and I will give you my top 10 favorite Carly Rae Jepsen songs. She just announced, and again, I'm recording this June 23rd. I will be talking about this on TGIF, but then also like multiple times as it gets closer. But she just realized a 2-disc or whatever, we don't have discs anymore, but like a 2-disc album coming up, Night and Day. So I'm very excited for that. The girls aren't doing it like Carly Rae. So to answer your question, I don't know who shouldn't be as famous as they are, but I'm sure there are people that have the career that JoJo, Carly Rae Jepsen, Mandy Moore should have and don't. 5 things you can't leave the house without other than your wallet or phone. I have a Harry's SPF lip balm that I use, a beard brush, and Kix Hamlet just like made fun of this the other day. I didn't know that this wasn't a thing. I have the purse latch because I have an over the body bag. And in New York, not all restaurants have like the thing. So I do have, and I don't want to put my bag on the ground. I don't want to put it over because this is New York. Someone could pickpocket me, whatever. So I have the little latch that you put on the table and hang a purse. Whatever. There's 3. 4 is tissues, because you know your girl loves to run from the nose. And 5, usually gum or mints. And I know there's another big one in there, hand sanitizer, that's 6. If you could go back and revisit any age for a year, what age would you become again? I would be, how old am I, 40? 16 years ago is 24. I would be 24. It's the year I moved to New York. And in hindsight, I didn't take in the New York experience as much as I wish I would have. For a very big part of my New York existence, I lived like a suburban life in New York. So like, yes, I would go out when my friends wanted to go out, but like, I wish that I had the drive to just go out on my own and get fucked in the middle of the dance floor. You know, like I was like I was Liza Minnelli at Studio 54 or something. If you could have a secret relationship with any celebrity, who would it be? LL Cool J. I don't even have to think twice about it. I would sign the NDA in blood if he asked me. LL Cool J, 1000%. Something you lied about and got away with. Well, remember when I told the story on the podcast that I cleaned the teacher's floor and then like a year later, I finally told the truth? There's that. In high school, no, I had just graduated college. And I came home and I had never smoked weed before. And there was a high school senior and like now that I'm old and talking about it, it is only 1 year, but like I was in college, he was in high school. It does make me nervous. He was straight and the thrill of it excited me. So he invited me to his house to smoke and I said yes because I wanted to hang out with him, because then I thought like, oh, this can be the start of a adult video. I can go over and we'll get stoned and then he'll let me blow him. That didn't happen, but I did go over and get stoned. So then I was talking to my friend who was a big pothead. I was like, oh my God, I smoked for the first time, on Instagram or on AIM. And then it was the family computer, so my dad found it. And then he questioned me and said, like, did you really do this? So I lied and said that I didn't do it. But since I was in college now, I started feeling myself drifting away from my friends because they had turned to drugs and they had turned to alcohol. And I didn't do that. I was still the same person I was in high school. So because I had never smoked before, I was feeling my friendship from this person drifting away, and I needed to connect with her. And he was like, well, she's no friend of yours if she won't accept you for not doing those things. And I was like, I know, but I'm just so torn. I don't want to lose our friendship. So I don't know if he fully believed it, but I did get away with it. Eiffel Tower Scream Franchise Only Edition. Now, Anne, this is from Anne. I don't know if you mean what movies I want to be Eiffel Towered by. If you do, Scream 1 and Scream 4. But I want Scream 4 to be the one that is fucking me, and I'll blow Scream 1 because Scream 4 gives us that twist, you know? And even Two Killers at the time is a twist too, but like he'll keep me guessing in the back. Now, if you're going to make me pick characters, Nico Tortorella is who I'm sucking off. Trevor from Scream 4. I was so obsessed with Nico Tortorella. I think he uses he, him pronouns now. He was they, them for a little bit. Oh, I think I have my answer. Okay, but I was so obsessed with Nico Tortorella after Scream 4 that at Starbucks and stuff, I would tell people my name was Nico. Is that crazy? Why, yes. Oh, Mason Gooding's in Scream now. Hello. Okay, so Nico Tortorella is who I'm blowing. Mason Gooding is get in the poop chute. Is that inappropriate to say? Yeah, but it is. And now, like, it's all I want to think about. I might end this recording right now so I can just yank to it. But instead, we'll cleanse the palate with a FMK. Danny Tanner, Uncle Jesse, Uncle Joey. And I guess this was submitted for Chelsea. I guess people loved her answer so much that they're giving it to me. Much like Chelsea said, I would K Uncle Joey. He's annoying. He was annoying on the show. Cut it out. I'm talking to you, Joseph Gladstone. And not that I'm here to judge people's like financial situations, but he's literally living on like a window seat on a bookshelf for a little bit. And like, yes, he does eventually put a puppet on his hand and get a job from that. But like for a long time, this is not really anyone I want to F or M. So he's going to get the K. Someone's literally littering outside, throwing trash outside of their car window that's parked. And this is where I wish I had that skill. I could just strut out to their car and say, yo, pick that up. Okay, now oh my God, this is crazy. I really want to, but I would be beat up if I did it now. But if I did, I would say, pick that up. And then if I didn't like their attitude about it, then that's when I would say, like, put your car in neutral. Oh, this is really making me mad. I can't watch. I need to put the blinds down. This is making me mad. I was just going to tell the man with my superpower to lay in traffic. The amount of trash he's just putting on the street is crazy. Anyway, not for the reasons Chelsea gave, but I would do the same thing as her. I would marry Jesse and F Danny. Now, Chelsea said it's because she found the loophole and she wants, in a marriage, you get to F that person repeatedly. So that's why she married Jesse. I think that marrying Danny, the amount of like cleanliness and like about that he was, I would not want to. And like, yes, I am emotionally mature and I do like talking about my feelings, but like about everything, about sneaking into a movie. No, we don't need to have a 5-minute conversation about that. Not everything needs to be a conversation about our feelings. So that's number one. Number two is like the cleanliness. So I just want to F him once and then be done with him. Now, Jesse is then who I would marry, so I could F him repeatedly. But then also, like, we've seen with his relationship with Becky how good of a man he is. We never got like a cheating plot line. We never got like a infidelity storyline. Once he has his heart set on a woman or man, then it's just, that's what he is. He's a good man, Savannah. And that's who I'm going to be with, Jesse. What gets you up in the morning? Life. My natural, if that's what you mean. I don't sleep with an alarm unless like I am waking up at an ungodly time for like an airport or something crazy. But normally I wake up anywhere from 6 to 8. I wake up naturally. I then make myself 2 cups of coffee. I usually take a shower right after that. And that's that. This one's from Kendrick. What things do you plan to force Kendrick to do when he moves to New York? Here's the thing. I don't force Kendrick to do anything. I don't know why he's framing it in such a way. Because number one, live your life and I'll live mine. If I say, do you want to do an escape room? If I say, do you want to do this Broadway strip show? If I say, do you want to go to Magic Mike Live? Feel free to say no to any of it. No is a complete answer. I say no to people all the time. So I'm not holding you down, mama, you know? Don't feel obligated. But with that said, escape rooms, chain restaurants, Broadway shows. Now that I've been to that Broadway strip show, I do know that it's right up Kendrick's alley. There's this escape room company has this thing that I've really been wanting to try called the Big Game Show. And that is something that the more people you have, the better. Now, I will be saying this. I'm not going to force him to do anything, but I do want him to blend into my New York life, like with my New York friends, so that then when I have things in the future, the lines of alliances aren't just podcasters, New York, Ben Salem, you know? It's like Kendrick knows all these New Yorkers. Kendrick has been over my house when college friends have come to visit, so that this way there's no like straight alliances. I want it to truly be like a game of returners where like maybe you work with someone that you've been on the show with before, but really you're open to working with anybody. I had a wonderful time. I hope you did as well. Wait, what's that from? I had a wonderful time. I hope you... Oh, that's when I host events. I know I say that on Zoom and I didn't know why. I was like, that's not how I end podcasts. But I did have a wonderful time. I hope you did it as well. This episode recording time is around 34 minutes. The other one was 45, but those were all those questions. I didn't touch any of those questions. So that means I still have another solo episode in me at some point. So get ready for those, big mama. I'll talk to you later. Love you like a sister. Bye. I won't edit this. Chelsea will do it.
Thank you for listening to I Am the Cute One. If you want more, head to patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne for uncut, unedited, and unhinged video and audio footage of current episodes, as well as even more bonus content.
And if you like what you heard, please be sure to leave a 5-star rating and subscribe to our show. And to help us grow this community of chaotic cuties, share an episode with a friend you think would pass the vibe check.
And to see the madness, check out our YouTube channel, where video footage from all current episodes are posted weekly.
You can follow me at Real Donnywood on Instagram and all other social media platforms.
And if you want more of my personal brand of chaos, check me out at Oh No Chels.
Talk to you later. Love you like a sister.